Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Whiskey Wednesday Show with your hosts Ken Tizzard and Music for Goats. Brought to you in full color and stereo sound amplification provided by Trainer. Broadcasting into the world from Storyhouse Studios in Campbellford, Ontario, you'll hear the best in old country, folk, Americana, punk rock, and 80s music delivered into your homes every week for free. And don't forget your regular dose of new and original songs from Music for Goats. Never be alone on a Wednesday night again, 8 p.m. Eastern and 9:30 for those of you in Newfoundland. Join the Whiskey Wednesday regulars on Facebook to be a part of the conversation, or watch on YouTube as well. Pour a drink, a cup of tea, or a nice cold long tooth. Roll up your best smoke and sit back and relax. Don't forget to hit the share button to help spread the word. The Whiskey Wednesday Show, every week. Cheers. Right.
No, must be rock and roll.
I can see that, yeah. Welcome to the Whiskey Wednesday Show, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ken Tizzard, and we are Music for Goats, broadcasting out of Campbellford, Ontario, and using my best radio voice for those of you listening to the podcast. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. It's myself and Neil and Mr. Grant and David and Barry, and Stanley's here somewhere under the table. Stanley's the dog, by the way. And and we're here to play some music on a Wednesday night. Got a cool night planned tonight. I've got a good friend from down Asheville, North Carolina way, Ty Gilpin. He's a mandolin player, and he works in the business of promoting bluegrass music and records. Cool guy. Wow, that radio voice is like really actually hard on your throat. Yeah, Jesus, how do they do that? Oh, my. Hey, MLM, good to see you, Debbie, Jeannie. We're getting the regular crowd here. It is Wednesday night. We're going to play a bunch of tunes that Allison and I kind of thought fit well with the theme of the night. As I mentioned, Ty's a bluegrass mandolin player, and he plays with a fantastic band that we're going to hear all about. And we're going to start the night with a little Red Prairie Dawn into On Your Mind. Reminder.
Yeah, we'll try.
There we go. 1, 2, 3. When you're drunk and you got no place to go, and you don't want the sleep to bring tomorrow, reach out and call. It won't hurt me at all to know that sometimes you find me on your mind. When you're lonely, feeling restless all alone, just you and the echoes in your home, reach out and call. It won't hurt me at all to know that sometimes you find me on your mind. Help me out, boys. Many miles apart, trying to make a brand new start. It's not been easy, but I'm still doing fine. I'm thinking about you and I'm still on your mind. When you're lonely, feeling restless late at night, then you find you just keep doing what ain't right. Feel free to think of me, it hits me in degrees to know that sometimes you find me on your mind. Trying to make a brand new start. It's not been easy, but I'm still doing fine. I'm thinking about you and I'm still on your mind.
Well, we got a few more people on here. We got Chris Fudge from St. John's tuning in. How you doing, buddy? It's been a while. I think I ran into you in a drunken stupor when we were home playing at Mile 1 there last year with the Watchmen. I believe that's what it was. I think that was the last time I saw you. Lisa Anthony, good to see you. Debbie Parson, as always, back as herself. Hart Creed, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Everything is pretty good here. I got your message there just before the show. Getting through another, summer. Growing plants, skateboarding, hanging out outside, battling depression. Tony is tardy tonight. Sorry to hear that. Where are you, Tony? Let us know when you're here. And every now and then you come to mind, and it makes me search for something I can't find, and then it disappears, the pain in all those years. I know that sometimes you find me on your mind. Many miles apart, trying to make a brand new start. It's not been easy, but I'm still doing fine. I'm thinking about you and I'm still on your mind. I'm thinking about you and I'm still on your mind. I'm thinking about you and I'm still on your mind. Oh, don't worry, Deb. Ron will be here. Ron will be here. Hey, Judy, how you doing? Good to see you. I was talking about you just the other night. Can't remember what I was saying, but it was something good. I hope you're having a wonderful summer. I know. What was that? When was your name up? A conversation somewhere. Anyways, good to see you. I hope everybody's having a dandy summer. It's going by real fast. Crazy things happening this summer. Billy Idol's in Newfoundland, I think tonight. How crazy is that? Billy Idol in Newfoundland.
Billie Eilish?
And Billie Eilish.
No.
You mean Robert Eyelash? No, Billy Idol. He's touring. Yeah, he was just in Ontario recently. Yeah, so he's down in Newfoundland doing the whole rock and roll thing, which is fucking crazy. Yeah, crazy. I never did see Billy Idol live, but that's somebody I'd like to see. That's somebody I would have liked to have seen. No, I'd still like to see him, but I would have loved to see him like in the early days when he was a little shithead. He's probably still a shithead, but Who am I to judge? I don't even know the guy. I did work with his publicist once. Actually, Cam was his publicist for years, too, so I've worked with... So, yeah, we were talking about that, yeah. Anyways, this is a song about drugs, and not necessarily the street drugs. We're all on drugs, all kinds of drugs. Gets us through the day. Different varieties of being high, different states of altitude, as it would be. Altitude.
We still doing this in A?
Same place we always do it.
Okay.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. I like to get high. I like to get higher. I like to get more high than I was before. I like to get stoned. I like to get stoneder. I like to get more stoned than I was before. 'Cause I don't have the perfect job I dreamed of, and at times I can take it for a while. Then sometimes it takes away the part of me that's real, and other times all I can do is smile. I like like to get high. Hey, Brian. I like to get higher. I like to get more high than I was before. I like to get stoned. I like to get stoned. I like to get more stoned than I was before. 'Cause I don't have a moment of pain-free living, and at times I can take it for a while. Then sometimes I take small things for granted, and other times just wanna close my eyes and hide. I like to get high. I like to get higher. I like to get more high than I was before. I like to get stoned. I like to get stoned. I like to get more stoned than I was before. Hello. I like to get high. I like to get higher. I like to get more high than I was before. I like to get stoned. I like to get stoneder. I like to get more stoned than I was before. 'Cause I don't have, it's an uphill battle with depression, and the drugs doctor gives me ain't so tight. Sometimes it feels like my skin is crawling, and other times bad TV can be alright. I like to get high. I like to get higher. I like to get more high than I was before. I like to get stoned. I like to get stoned. I like to get more stoned than I was before. I like to get high. I like to get higher. I like to get more high than I was before. I like to get stoned. I like to get stoneder. I like to get more stoned than I was before. Most excellent. Send that one out to my buddy Ty, Steve Johnson, Sarah, and what was his name? We were all out one night in Nashville and we did some drugs. I did some drugs. I'm not going to talk for anybody else, but a lot of fun. Anyway, send it out to Judd. That's who was with us. Jed, that's how it was with us. Yeah, Jed. So that goes out to the Asheville and also the North Dakota crowd with Sarah. I talk about him. We get to know him in the video. We get to learn a little bit about his band. Let's get into part one of Ty Gilpin, ladies and gentlemen.
Hoping I might find a chance to get away and leave it all Jumped on this roller coaster, working till I die, like most everyone I know, barely getting by. Living day to day, spinning round and round, trying to fill an empty glass just to spill it on the ground. Where's all the freedom I've been hoping for so long? Then I stopped to watch the setting sun and realize all the things left undone. Among these irons in the fire of my soul, the hardest part of moving on is letting go. There's all the freedom I've been hoping for so long. There's all the freedom I've been hoping for so long. All the freedom I've been hoping for so long.
So Ty,
Right.
the name of the segment is "What Are You At?" and that's sort of a Newfoundland way of saying how are you doing, what have you been doing, and you know, sort of a catch-up thing. So it's been a few years since
Okay.
we spoke. So what are you at?
Well, some of the same things going on. You mentioned the band, Unspoken Tradition. We keep growing as a group, recording. We were actually up north just a couple weeks ago at the Gray Fox Bluegrass Festival, or I guess Bluegrass Festival. It's kind of a bit eclectic even beyond that, but we were up there playing did a main stage setup there, and we are kind of going to the Northeast a little more often from our regional Western North Carolina home,
Yeah.
which is where I am now, and where the group calls home, from the Asheville area just over to the Charlotte area. We're kind of all sprinkled in through there. I'm over here in Asheville. So the group is doing good. We're recording. We're releasing a lot of singles, getting a lot of some national airplay attention in that bluegrass world, and also on XM, on radio, and getting ready to release a new song actually at the end of this month. You remember Alabama, right? I mean, everybody remembers the country band Alabama, especially down here. They did kind of a pop rock number back in the early 90s called "I'm in a Hurry to Get Things Done," or "I'm in a Hurry and I Don't Know Why."
Okay.
So it lent itself really well to bluegrass, and we cut that, and we're actually trying to gear up to shoot some video for it and release it at the end of this month. So that's going good. And then I'm over here at today working at Crossroads Entertainment Marketing building, where we have our 2 recording studios and staff of about a dozen of us here. Today I'm working on some video editing from some of our artists. We've got about 30 plus national touring artists under contract that we work recording and releasing and marketing their music. So I am kind of in a multiple role. I do marketing, direction, project managing, a lot of video content these days. I do radio promotion, A&R, wear a lot of hats, but you know, it's indie music business, so all of us are wearing a lot of hats.
Right.
And I've been here 20 years this year, 20 years.
And that's with Crossroads. Now what's Mountain Home? Is there's a distinction between Crossroads and Mountain Home, right?
Right. So Crossroads is the corporate title, corporate business, DBA, and then we have label imprints. So one of those label imprints is the Mountain Home label, which is primarily bluegrass music focused. We've got one called Organic Records, which is a little more in the roots Americana. We've got a couple of regional gospel style music labels. Mountain Home is the label that my group Unspoken Tradition is on, and also some other national known bluegrass groups. If your audience is familiar with that scene, the Lonesome River Band, Balsam Range, the Graskels, Chris Jones, the Night Drivers, Darren Nicholson, and the list is fairly extensive. Like I say, between all of them, probably 30 plus touring artists.
And is this one of the most comprehensive bluegrass sort of organizations, companies around? Like, where do you guys sit in the world of bluegrass? Like, you've got the record company, you've got the, the sort of label offshoots, you've got the studios, you've got the recording, you've got everything in house. Like, that seems like a pretty huge thing. Is that one of the bigger, you guys one of the bigger bluegrass companies in North America?
Yeah, I would say so for sure. There are not a super big ton of bluegrass specific and roots music specific indie labels, but in that crafted indie label world, we're definitely one of the most robust as far as stable of artists. The number that we have, and probably even some of the recognition of some of those artists. Sister Sadie, which is a big group that's really making a lot of big splash right now. They're one of our newest additions. So we've got a lot of folks from regional area, people based in Nashville. It started as a group of people probably 40 years ago wanting to record more local, regional music, music of the town, of the city of Asheville. And I think what ended up showing up were groups that were having national touring success and other genres besides just, roots and rock and roll. So a lot of Southern gospel people who were big at the time. This is when year showed up. And so they started working and recording those artists. That spilled over into more bluegrass and eventually catching up with more general roots music. The Americana world, which you're a part of now, really exploded over the last decade, and so we've been making more forays into that macro cup of artists and music.
Well, in the bluegrass world, this is something that interests me. The bluegrass world is really the bluegrass songbook, for example, like there's a set of music that the style is based on. But bluegrass is really sort of, in the last decade, it's made its way into a lot of mainstream commercial music, everything from Tyler Childers and Noah Kahan, through to some of the mainstream acts that are including sort of, more sort of banjo and mandolin and kind of people from the bluegrass world. From a culture that's so steeped in tradition, what's the general consensus on like some of these newer artists that are coming out that are really borrowing heavily from bluegrass and making it quite popular in a commercial world?
Well, I think your biggest example of that right now is the artist Billy Strings, who's really broken fan barriers in the sense that he's been able to access audiences in a huge scaled way, so that he's bringing and Billy's doing, he's branching out, but the core of what he does is bluegrass music, but he's bringing it to huge. I mean, he's selling out arenas, all over the country. I don't know if he's made it all the way up to you guys up there multiple times, but does, or when he does, you're going to see some big crowds. He's kind of stepped into that little bit of that role of guitar hero that people like Jerry Garcia embodied, for decades. And now that Jerry's gone, I think people were kind of searching for that next person to come along. And I think there's been a few versions of that. And Billy's the newest one. And, it's bluegrass, it's traditional music. I think that's great genre. There's plenty of people who are, more so steeped in tradition, who like that is bluegrass. I mean, because it's a specific art form in the same sense that jazz is. You expect to see certain instrumentation presented in a certain format,
right.
Rhythmically, breaks and melodic, contributions and all this. So there's plenty of rigidness to it in that sense. But at the same time, like jazz, bluegrass has always been innovative. So really just comes down to the personalities of the people involved. Do they like the innovation or not? And people that are a little more, less inclined to like to explore new horizons, if you would, maybe a little less, maybe more resistant to it, especially people that may, have heard it one way all their lives, and it's culturally ingrained to have a certain style. But even the genesis of bluegrass itself was built on something else, and the music itself has always evolved. And the bluegrass that is considered modern, traditional now is nothing like the original version of it. You compare a group that is releasing music today to music that was being released in the 40s, and it's just not the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the inventiveness has always been there. So when you see groups borrow from it or take it to new audiences, depending on your point of view, mine is that it's a great thing. It's evolving the music. It's a gateway in some cases for those groups that might, Mumford and Son has a banjo in it.
Yep.
Suddenly someone's interested in the banjo. I mean, and they have nothing to do really with bluegrass, but their current banjo player that plays a lot of stage and shows with them is one of the best banjo pickers in the industry. In fact, he records a good deal here on more traditional albums for us as a studio musician. So, the cross-pollination of those worlds. But yeah, that's a long-winded insight into the evolving state of the music.
No, it's interesting because, I know that, country and Western music's been around forever. I mean, you go back to Hank Williams and Ray Price and guys like that. And, that sort of country music is a far cry from the country music we're hearing on the radio. And I've noticed that happening. I noticed it happening with the folk world. And I'm starting to see it happen now in the bluegrass world. A few years back, when I was coming down to Asheville and North Carolina, semi-regularly before COVID and stuff, I was noticing that I was blown away at the bluegrass world, the amount of talent and the amount of musicians. I was also for a genre that's been so male dominated for so long, I was really surprised with people like Sierra Hull and Molly Tuttle, these females that were breaking huge ground in the bluegrass world. As instrumentalists and singers and producers. I always thought that was a really interesting thing, that a genre, like I say, so steeped in male dominance, had so many females involved with it. Has that been a part of the culture for a while in your experience, or is that a newer thing? And how's that pairing out down there?
And one way or another, it's always been part of it. But I mean, I guess it's like anything else, music wise, it's sort of a reflection of our positively evolving society. I mean, if you can look back at the history of, let's go back to jazz again. Let's go back to rock and roll. I mean, we're talking about male dominated percentage wise of performers out there, sprinkled in with female performers. I think as equality evolves in our culture in general, we're seeing a lot more roles in that regard that breaking those gender biases. So I think bluegrass music is just another part of that larger evolvement of what we're seeing in society.
Right.
Power to the women. I don't know if there was ever a question whether or not they would be incredibly accomplished and incredibly entertaining players and singers. But I think, like the folks you mentioned, have foregone all doubt that they would be. They really come to the forefront, and people are people. I mean, they're given the opportunity. Folks, I think, can excel in what they're passionate about, whether they be regardless of gender, race, and orientation. I just think that it's just a matter of us in America becoming more evolved as a society and more inclusive.
Yeah.
Maybe Southern music and male-dominated music, but I think there might be stigmatism to that because of the way people view chauvinistic attitudes, maybe connecting them to the South. But I think that's also, in some cases, true, in some cases, imagined. I think when you really get boots on the ground, people are people, and they've been trying to be inclusive as much as possible. It's just sort of how it ends up being reflected out into art. So I'm just glad it be, more, see more color, more females, more people, from other areas and other regions. Bluegrass has started just like jazz sort of started in the South, and rock and roll too. But as it's evolved and culturally claimed by people all over the country, all over the world, then you just who's great, and it's really not a matter of who they are, but can they pick?
Well, yeah, exactly. And when you're talking about people like Sierra Hull and Molly Tuttle, there is no question there that they can pick.
Oh yeah, the bar is so high there.
Yeah, it's crazy. Billy Strings. I mean, all those young, some of these young kids that are coming up, they're starting at 20 years old at levels that I've never experienced before. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Unspoken tradition. So you guys are now you're over a decade old. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've been around a decade.
And your last actual record was 2022. Which wasn't too long ago, but you just put out a new single recently for Georgia in Her Eyes. Are you guys working more with singles or records, and how are you finding the change in the industry with the production of singles and videos as opposed to making a full complete record?
Right. Yeah, that's our most recent single, and we have since this fall, I think, of 2023, we were back in the studio. The album came out in 22. I think we were back in the studio that following first part of the year, just a few months after it came out, and then we began releasing singles. So I think this is George is our fourth one. We had two songs that went number one prior to this one in the radio world. So we were kind of spacing them out so we could drive them up the radio chart and get XM attention. And yeah, I think the single world is an option now. It's people are consuming in a way that they're singles have value again. Ultimately, I think people choose, even if you put a full album out, people kind of choose what they like the best out of it. And the fact that you can listen to music in a different way, when you stream stuff, if you're listening to a radio streaming platform, it's just pulling singles algorithmically that you might like and be interested in. So it's a perfectly fine way to release music. It makes it a little bit cheaper to record because you're not biting off a huge chunk of studio costs on the front end and then trying to make it back up. And the fact that physical album sales are going down so much because of the streaming avenues now, it's less valuable to have something like that on the table. So working stuff out, and if you release singles, you in some sort of frequency, it gives you content creation and content flow, right? So people love it when a group releases something new. Well, if you're giving them something every few months to talk about and to enjoy, and then eventually maybe dropping some content at the end of that, but then going right back and starting the process over again, I think it just kind of keeps an artist on the fans' radar. So it's a great way just to kind of keep a presence out there in the marketplace, but also just in front of fans as well. And the video, like you mentioned too, is the same way. It's like we're sitting here scrolling through these video platforms, and people that put out content every day get a lot more algorithmic attention. So the frequency of content production and release is sort of the key to sustainability. For now, we'll see what these next few years, the incoming either help or disruption, or however you want to put it, of AI. We'll see what evolves and changes there.
Yeah,
which I have no predictions of.
No productions on AI. No productions on AI from Mr. Ty Gilpin. Well, I got some AI predictions. Actually, here's an interesting thing. We got we're at 8:35 in the show. We got a half hour left. I'm gonna let you. There's a small crowd here tonight, but it's all the people that I know. So I'm gonna let you guys create a video for me. Type in some situations. You know, a crab bowling on a beach, or a dinosaur doing something, or I don't even know. Use your imagination. I need 20 ideas. I've got a 1-minute video that I want to do, and I was going to do it now. I think I'm going to let you guys do it, so you guys can be part of it tonight. So start putting it sunset. Perfect, Jeannie Tench. The more detailed, the better. Sunset on a beach, sunset on the Antarctic North Pole. Is that right? The Antarctic North Pole? Is that a place? No. That's not a place, eh? The Antarctic North Pole.
There's an Antarctic pole, but it's the other.
It's the other pole. Okay. Well, either way, that's great. So give me some ideas. Cod fishing, skateboarding down a mountain. See Matt McPhee? There you go. That will be an image. All these things. I'm going to create a little 1-minute video. So I'll let you guys fill this in over the next half hour while we're doing the show. Whatever ideas you got, jot them down. We'll keep going as we move on. Ty Gilpin, he's such a smart guy. I met Ty when I went down to do Merlefest. Ty and Sav, actually the bass player for the band as well, they were introduced to me, and they helped me out on a couple of my stages. They backed me up, and I was amazed at how intuitive these musicians are. Sav played through an entire set with me on bass, just following without knowing, where he was going, but always landing in the right place. And Ty, of course, beautiful instrumentalist. So I mean, you kind of expect with fiddle players and piano players and guitar players, you give them a key and they can noodle their way through it. Bass players, though, you need to know something, unless it's just it's a blues tune or it's a country tune. But these guys were great. Anyways, it was really, really nice. There we go. We're getting lots of great images here now. Keep this up. This is a song called Good and Goodbye, and we're going to add Cherokee at the beginning of this one tonight. This is usually something we do in front of King Is Gone, but King Is Gone is going to be the video rewind tonight with Luke Mercier. Remember when Luke was here?
All right.
That'll be a fun one. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You don't love me no more, babe. You don't love me no more, my sweet baby. Oh, you don't love me no more. I can't believe everything that I've tried, but I just don't see the good, so goodbye. To holler like a freight train, you don't holler no more, my sweet baby. Oh, you don't holler no more. I can't believe everything that I've tried, but I just don't see the good, so goodbye. I used to be so lucky, I'm not lucky anymore. I used to be so rich in love, now I'm not even dirt poor. I can't believe the truth behind your lies, but I just don't see the good, so goodbye. You don't love me no more, babe. Oh, you don't love me no more, my sweet baby. Oh, you don't love me no more. see the good, so goodbye. Nicely done there, fingers. Thank you for letting me down at the end. How you doing, Mr. Grant? What's new?
Well, I missed a run in the middle there too.
Did
so,
you? Oh,
yeah, the
shit.
fingers, you know.
I didn't even notice because my fingers were giving me so much trouble. Good Lord.
Other than that, I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
Doing great, yeah.
How's life on your side of the bridge is good?
Oh, it's fine, yeah.
Yeah? You weren't too bothered by the sirens the other night?
I didn't even hear them, no.
Yeah, see.
I had the music on, so.
Oh, there you go. There you go. That's what people should do. Put on a record. Fuck sirens, whatever. David, how's things on your side of the bridge? Yeah, you're on my side of the bridge, so I guess it's much the same. Your side of town, you're on the south side of town. I'm on the north side of town.
Side of the street?
Yeah, your side of the street, exactly. Mm-hmm.
It's warming up again, so hopefully the water will be
Fishable?
frigid as it was last week, and
Yeah.
fishable this weekend.
Well, that'll be nice. That'll be nice. Mr. Neal, what's going on with you?
Oh, you know, the usual stuff.
The usual stuff. Okay. It's like going into work, dealing with the IRS.
No, that's American.
Oh. Okay, you're dealing with the
CRA.
CRA. Sounds so much less intimidating than the IRS.
Exactly.
The IRS is just like IRS just gives me fear. CRA is just like a confusing website.
Ulcers.
Yeah, their website's really bad.
It is.
I guess they have a lot of information to take care of, though. Like it's every Canadian that exists, right?
Yeah, which explains why they got busted a little while ago. Didn't somebody hack their website, as I recall?
Oh, that's quite possible. I don't know, though. Hey, Scott, how you doing? Okay, we got some great ideas here. Keep them coming. Come on, everybody, smoke another joint. Give us some more. Give us some more ideas. I need like 30. Well, no, I don't need like 10, but give me as many as you can. Debbie, where's the goat? No, you can't just ask the question, Deb. You have to say, I found the goat. And if you don't find the goat, then you don't get to talk about the boat. CRA can be terrible. Yeah, just give them a chance. Okay. Cassidy's getting ready to go away. She's going on her big trip. We got a lot of adjustment to happen here at the house. And it's going to be interesting. She's been home since graduating. I mean, she went away to college and university, or not college. She went away to university, and we got used to her being away. And then she came home, and oh my God, it's so hard. It's so hard because now she's like, you know, getting ready to leave again. She's going to a bunch of places. She's going to Hawaii first, which will be cool. Then she's going to Australia, which will be cool. And then she's going to a couple of Asian countries, which will be cool. And I'm terrified, but anyways.
But accepting at the same time.
I'm totally accepting. I think it's great that she's doing it. I'm just, as a father, and it's a scary thing. But and then when she gets back, she's going to BC to do her master's, so she'll be gone for a while. So me and Allison are dealing with the crushing reality of sort of both daughters being out of the house for a semi-permanence again, or a indefinite amount of time. But anyways, I wish her all the luck.
Goats.
I've always got my goats. That's good. But Cassie's become a music fan like I am, and like Kaylin and Allison. And all four of us have, in our own ways, found our way to this artist. A guy named Tyler Childers, we talked about earlier. So I said that we'd play a song for Cassidy. Early in the morning when the sun does rise, sing slow. That's about the time my rooster crows. I got women up and down this creek, and they keep me going and my engine clean. They run me ragged, but I don't fret, 'cause there ain't been one to slow me down none yet. Get me drinking that moonshine, get me out in the grocery bill. Take my troubles to the high wall, throw them in the river and get your fill. We've been sniffing that cocaine, ain't nothing better when the wind cuts cold. Lord, it's mighty hard living, but a damn good feeling to run these roads. I got people trying to tell me red, keep this living and you wind up dead. Cast your trouble to the Lord of Lords, wind up laying on a cooling board. But I got buddies up a White House Road, they keep me strutting when my feet hang low. Rocket whiskey gonna ease my pain, and all this surrounding's gonna keep me sane. Get me drinking that moonshine, get me out in the grocery bill. Take my troubles to the high wall, throw them in the river and get your fill. We've been sipping that cocaine, ain't nothing better when the wind cuts cold. Lord, it's a mighty hard living, but a damn good feeling to run these roads. It's a damn good feeling to run these roads. When you lay me in the cold hard clay, won't you sing them hills while the banjo plays? You can tell them ladies that they ought not frown, 'cause there ain't been nothing ever held me down. Long men, women, and a shallow grave, same old blues, just a different day. Get me drinking that moonshine, get me out in the grocery bill. Take my troubles to the high wall, throw them in the river and get your fill. We've been sipping that cocaine, ain't nothing better when the wind cuts cold. Lord, it's a mighty hard living, but a damn good feeling to run these roads. It's a damn good feeling to run these roads. It's a damn good feeling to run these roads. There you go. There you go for Cassidy. And once we get the TELUS situation sorted out, we know what you can phone and do, then you can use your dado to watch that video once it's up on YouTube. It'll remind you of Daddy and the goats. Oh my. We wish you so much luck and hope that you and Amy have the time of your lives. It's going to be a great time. Really looking forward to you getting out and seeing the world. Let's get back down to North Carolina here for a couple more questions and answers with Mr. Ty Gilpin here on the Whiskey Wednesday show.
Are you noticing from a label point of view, is vinyl, is the vinyl uptick still happening, or is vinyl starting to drop off people's radar as well?
I haven't checked recent data. I mean, it's been trending for a while, and we've made some for artists. And I think it's another piece of merch. It's a little encumbersome in hauling it around and keeping it safe and weather prevention on it.
Yeah.
It's costly to make. No one's really making super cheap vinyl. It takes a long time to get it made. Mm-hmm. Because there's a limit, limited resource, depending on who you are. I mean, if you've got big, huge orders in, if you're a major touring artist, Taylor Swift, I'm sure, is not waiting forever for her vinyl, but it's not something that's going to really be popular, something that's going to be easy to carry, cheap to make, can get it quickly, can resupply it quickly. That's going to be a higher value. So, vinyl, CDs, all those things are merch. They're souvenirs from seeing an artist live. It used to be you would go to a show and get a shirt or get a CD or a piece of vinyl. Historically, over the last 40 years, I think now really the souvenir is a selfie with an artist, or you're taking a picture of you at the show. I mean, that's your souvenir, and you can prove to everyone that you were there.
Yep.
That's kind of replaced a little bit some of those things. So I don't know what the data is. I'm sure it's been growing some, but I mean, I don't think it's gone as gangbusters. But I'm sure there's data points out there that might refute that. I can't tell you for sure. We are not doing a whole ton of it.
Right.
I think that could be the nature of the particular artists.
Mhm.
Some, but yeah, it's a little encumbersome.
Yeah, I find it challenging, and people like it and they want it, but as a artist who doesn't tour as much as I used to, I think touring, it's hard to carry around, but at least you can sell it at shows. But like, the online sales of vinyl with shipping and stuff. I know in the States you have media mail, so you can ship a piece of vinyl for $5 or $7. In Canada, like for me to ship vinyl, it costs over $25 per piece that I send out. When you tack that onto the $30 of the price of the vinyl, it suddenly becomes, something that people aren't willing to spend $50 or $60 on. And I get that, because music is essentially there for free. So, Unspoken Tradition, you guys you got a bunch of shows on the docket for this summer. You've done a bunch already. And is this the rest of the guys in the band? This is sort of what you're doing full time, or is everybody kind of balancing separate income streams with different jobs? And how is the lifestyle of a bluegrass musician? One of the top bluegrass musicians, like you guys are. You're a charting bluegrass band. What is life like for you guys?
Well, because of the economy and everybody having families, because of the age we all are, we're not young. We are, we're working class guys. Everybody's got a job. I was just describing what I do here. We've got a school teacher. We've got an environmental analyst. We've got a logistics guy. We've got a guy who works in diversity and inclusion for Orvis, the outdoor and fly fishing company. So we're all got day jobs. Everybody's got families to some extent or other. So we are all balancing that. We're more weekend warriors in that regard. We're doing we'll do probably averaging out a couple of shows a month. Sometimes it'll be one or two. Sometimes we'll have 3 or 4, and sometimes those are regional. We're not out road dogging, going out several weeks at a time. Our vacation time for something like that is well spent on time. We want to go to the beach or something with our families. So we're trying to fit it all in. So that's a big aspect for us as well. That kind of gets some artistic satisfaction out of being able to go in the studio and make music too, where as we might be thirsty for that on the road. We're quenching that by being able to do creative recording projects, so that balances it out. We're in this particular economy, musicians for the most part, unless they're just in the bus going all the time, it's great to have a second or a primary income source.
Well, of course. Now, is that the rock and roll world, you're 18 or 20, 25 years old, in and around there. You start a band, you all save up some money, you buy a van, you head out on the road, you play night after night, club after club, sleeping in the van, sleeping on couches, doing all that. That's sort of part of the rock and roll world. Bluegrass, especially regional bluegrass, it seems to me doesn't, well, maybe you can help answer the question. Is that sort of part of the bluegrass world, like going out and touring and being a regular sort of performing band, or is it sort of more like a regional identity and sort of bringing out regional music and like you say, sort of being working at other jobs and I guess the short answer is, are there bluegrass musicians out there who are doing it full time and kind of like the way that the rock and roll and commercial music works, or is it more of a passion project for most people? You were saying there's artists running all up and down the road?
Yeah, with their names on the buses and doing that whole thing, staying on tour. A lot of young artists doing the same, you can imagine the same rock and roll approach, just with roots of music, going up and down the road, trying to make a name for themselves, playing clubs, climbing those ladders, paying those dues. It's true for any music genre, really. And there are plenty of top tier groups that are doing it, full time, that are out 250, 300 days a year. We're just not one of those,
Right.
because of the situation. Our bluegrass, we got into it or are into it because it is a part of how we grew up. It's very much in the water. We're talking Western North Carolina, we're talking East Tennessee, we're talking, from Nashville to Charlotte. It's just a hotbed of musicians that culturally grew up with dad and granddad and everybody else playing music. Now that, like, again, it's evolving, it's become more contemporary, but some of us are doing it because it's part of who we are, rather than wanting to use it as an avenue to be a touring artist.
Right.
So I think there's a lot of versions and levels of it. We're at the particular level where it's an enculturated part of our lives, and so we really enjoy doing it. And if you do it long enough, like we say, we've been doing it as this group for 10 or so years. It's taken that long just to probably get good enough to have a a product that people demand. So you get busier over time, doing that as you become better and better artists. But for us, it's very much about, we have just as much joy going and down to Cherville, North Carolina, where the guys are from, and playing on a Wednesday evening on the porch.
Right.
That's just as much of who we are and what we're about as people and artists as it is going to a major festival, 11 hours away.
Yeah, that was something I noticed in the brief amount of time that I spent down in the Asheville community. Just the amount of just, it could be the circles that I was hanging out in, hanging out with Steve and you and a few other people, but it seemed like the music was so ingrained in the culture down there. And you're right, it wasn't about, trying to be famous or trying to make a career out of it. It was just, this is part of who we are, and this is what we do. And I really love that drew me into bluegrass so much, because it's kind of the way music is for me. It's just kind of, it's what I do. It's what I've always done. It's what I always will do. I don't particularly play bluegrass, but I love that attitude towards music and life being sort of the same path. It's really neat. 3 artists. Can you name me 3 bluegrass artists to look out for right now? Some new talent that you might want to turn people onto.
Sure. I mentioned earlier some folks that we're work with, and also talking about this emergence of more and more really powerful female artists in our world. And one of those groups is an all-female group called Sister Sadie.
Okay.
They have been they've put out several albums. They've sort of recently reconfigured, and Mountain Home put out an album earlier this year, and I think the ethos there with that you can derive very much describes their mission, and they are incredible. Every single one of them, and singers and songwriters. They've been playing the Grand Ole Opry a good bit. They've been touring all over the country this year. They're up for several international bluegrass music awards coming up here in a couple months, including Entertainer of the Year and vocal group and album and song. And so I would think that is really a fantastic artist to clue in on, and we're getting ready to release more music by them before the end of the year. Again, that's Sister Sadie, all female and very, very powerful artists. And you said 3, right?
Yes. Sister Sadie's 1.
3. Sister Sadie is 1. Here's a group that I'm actually affiliated with in the sense of them being connected business-wise to the label, but one that I've really been drawn to and love a lot. And they're newcomers-ish. They're newcomers in the sense that they're seasoned players that have formed a band recently, and that's East Nash Grass, obviously standing for East Nashville. Some younger players, in fact, several of them, a couple of them at least, play in Dan Tominski's group. People may be familiar with Dan Tominski as a solo artist. East Nash Grass, great, authentic, walking a line between great bluegrass and also some string band vibe they've got going on too.
Oh, cool.
And actually, I'll mention this artist too because they're recording with us recently. An artist named Andy Leftwich. Andy Leftwich is a fiddle and mandolin player, most renownedly known probably from being the fiddleist, violinist, if you will, for Ricky Skaggs for years and years. And he's been going into his own in the studio to create and record his own compositions. He's got a incredible group of players that are joining him on his recordings. Cody Kilby, Matt Manafee. Matt Manafee actually is the banjo player I mentioned earlier that plays with Mumford & Sons. Cody Kilby, an all-star guitar player who is the guitar player for the Traveling McCurries, if that name rings a bell with any of your bluegrass-oriented people. Byron House playing bass. And that's a 4-piece group with Andy, of course, doing the dual instruments there. So Andy Leftwich and his new projects, if you really like something that harkens back to the jazz focused songs that really kind of started emerging more from bluegrass in the 70s and 80s with Grisman and Rice and Sam Bush and the Strength in Numbers and even the early and current Bela Fleck type of stuff. So more jazz influenced music. Andy has really got a genius approach both in his musicianship and his instrumental writing. And this is mostly instrumental music. And really just if you want to hear superb flat pickers at the top of their game, Andy Leftwich and his projects are where you can hear that. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on everything. It's been great to catch up today. Really nice to hear a bit about the band and the record company and what you're doing and how things are going. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Mr. Ty Gilpin tuning in from North Carolina. Are you in Asheville today or are you outside of Asheville?
Yeah, just basically in Asheville. Our studios are just down the road.
Asheville, the brewer, the independent brewery capital of America, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's Beer City.
More sort of microbreweries than anywhere else, is what I hear.
Yeah. More beer than whiskey. So it's like instead of Whiskey Wednesdays, it's just beer every day here.
Beer every day. Okay, well, thank you very much, Ty. We'll connect with you again before too long, anyways. Okay, brother, we'll talk.
Cool, brother.
You take care of yourself. We'll see you again.
You too, man. Thanks for having me. Great.
Okay. Cheers, brother.
See ya. Cheers.
I have spent all of my life lonesome for you, finding the time, catch you in seams of the sky, cracks in the wall, and the pain in her eyes. Now you are burning down my cabin home on the hill. a charge, but a hell of a price to leave in this cold mountain town where walls circle round and the river runs northbound in this cold mountain town. In this cold mountain town where walls circle round and the river runs northbound in this cold mountain town. I have spent all of my life lonesome for you.
Good Lord, talk about crazy good musicians, man. I remember going down to North Carolina the first time. My buddy Steve Johnson brought me down, and Ty and Sav were some of the first people I met. And Steve brought me down to perform at IBMA, which is the International Bluegrass Music Association. And he got me some showcase gigs as a singer-songwriter. And there's two hotels both doing simultaneous bluegrass events, and the entire downtown is cordoned off, and every intersection has a stage on it, and there's bands playing from noon till 5 in the morning in the hotel suites. The hotel rooms, the hallways in the hotels are full of musicians just jamming. And I walk into this scene, I know the basic CFG on the guitar. And I've got a couple songs that I've written, and I walk in and I'm just like, I got my guitar with me everywhere I go, because you take your guitar everywhere, because you got a bunch of shows, in different places. And I always find people say, hey, get your guitar out and jam with us. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And Steve called me sort of on the Thursday. I'd already done a couple little events, and he said, we've had a cancellation for one of the show slots at 9:00 over at some theater. And I said, well, what is it? He said, well, you'd be going on after Peter Rowan. And I kind of knew the name Peter Rowan, but I didn't really know the impact of, he's one of the founders of this entire scene. And no, that's cool. Yeah, I'll do it. You want a 45-minute set? Yeah, okay, if you could do that, that'd be great. Cool. So I added that to my calendar, and I showed up to this room, at 6:00, and it was just jam-packed. You couldn't move shoulder to shoulder, and there's this band on stage, this crazy-ass fucking bluegrass band. And I'm in the dressing room behind the stage with my acoustic guitar, just going, what the fuck have I gotten myself into? And to no shock, in the 5 minutes it took for his band to get off stage and for me to get up and get plugged in, the room pretty much emptied out. It was just like, who's going on after the Grateful Dead? Who cares? Yeah, it was it was a great experience, and I got to meet Peter and his band, and I've sort of seen him since, and we've had conversations, and that's really cool. So all around, it was a great experience. But the caliber of musicianships down there, and literally hundreds of these bands, all doing stuff top of their game, harmonies, top of their game performances.
Unbelievable. If you ever get a chance to go down to the IBMA, I highly recommend it. This is probably one of the songs that I played with Ty and Sav after Petey Rowan left the building. Take a moment, take a chance, learn to fly or learn to dance. I don't know. Get yourself away from here, a better place to face your fears. I don't know. At times I have felt it like a storm. At times I have felt it like a storm. You're the only one. You're the only one. You're the only one who doesn't remind me of her. Open up and look around. Try and tell me what you found. I don't know. Pushed aside into my space. You've gone, you've fallen in my face, all over me. At times I have felt it like a storm. At times I have felt it like a storm. You're the only one. You're the only one. You're the only one who doesn't remind me of her. Take a moment, take a chance, learn to fly or learn to dance. I don't know. Pushed aside into my space, you've gone, you've fallen in my face, all over me, all over you. At times I have felt it like a storm. At times I have felt it like a storm. You're the only one. You're the only one. You're the only one who doesn't remind me of her. There you go, a little take a chance. So, the skateboards are on the way. Do we still have a picture of those, Barry? I don't know if we do or not. I might have deleted it. No, we got rid of it, the MLM deck? Okay, sorry. Oh, no, we got it? Oh, let's throw it up for a second. There it is. I'm so excited to see these for real. They come in, they should be shipping next week, so I guess they're going to be coming in soon. I got to drive down to Belleville and meet with Justin and sign a bunch of them. And, I'm so excited. The Music for Goats, Whiskey Wednesday show, freestyle skateboard deck. So that's pretty cool. And it's been a crazy week. Like I say, Cassie's leaving. That's a big thing. Neil, your week has been good? Nothing to really report?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, excellent. And Mr. Grant, anything to report this week? No.
I've started that Phil Collins book, man.
Oh yeah,
That's
okay.
great.
Okay, good.
What a great storyteller.
Oh yeah, I gotta read that. I got it for Christmas, and I didn't actually
I'll
get a
bring
chance
it
to
back
read it.
when I'm done with it.
Oh yeah, there's no rush. I got it for Christmas 5 years ago. Oh my. We're doing this in F sharp, right?
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, it's been a good week. It's been another weird week. Dave Sweetapple, a friend of mine. Is there a picture I think we've got there of him, Barry? Dave is the third guy from the from the left, second from the right. Dave's a Newfoundlander who grew up with me and all the punk rockers downtown. He was 57 and he passed away this week. Apparently, nobody knows what it was yet, but it was, sort of natural. I think he went to sleep and didn't wake up. Growing up, that's the band that he currently works with, stoner rock band called Witch, and look them up, really, really heavy fucking music. Dave was a part of the punk rock scene. You can come back here, Barry, thanks. Dave was a part of the punk rock scene in St. John's, along with everybody that you heard me talk about, sort of Martina and Dean and Danny Thomas and Clark Hancock and Chris Jarrett and Bob Average and all those people. And Chris and Bob were actually really close with Dave. Dave was a couple years older than me, and when you're 13, 14, and you're 16, 17, that's actually a pretty big age gap. Even though we skateboarded in the same circles, and he was part of a huge part of the punk scene in Newfoundland, like just actually organizing the punk scene. Him and and he's still doing it, working with Johnny Pastore to this day at Outer Battery Records, and he built his own record company, Mag Wheels Records, and he's been down in the States playing. That was actually Jay Mascis in the Witch band with him, like from Dinosaur Jr. Like he's down playing with all that gang. And there was actually some bands canceled their shows, big festival shows this weekend, sort of in memory of him and stuff. It's he went down there, and he growing up in St. John's, he had a passion for punk rock, and he went down and he found it, and he lived life down there, and it was really sad to see him. To hear that he passed away. As I say, he was a guy that was kind of in my circle. We weren't the same age, so I don't think me and him ever had a conversation, just the two of us. But he was always around, and I feel really bad that he's gone. But for people like Chris and Bob and Mike Bueller and some of my other friends who I know who were close with Sweet Apple, I send my condolences out to you all tonight. And big shock for the punk rock, stoner rock music crowd, and we're all real sad to see him move on. Anyways, Dave, I don't know if you were ever religious or not, but I have in the past played these songs for this little medley of songs for people that have passed away, and you can just say fuck off, Tizzard, if it's the wrong thing, but you're gonna have to talk pretty loud, mate. I am a pilgrim and a stranger, traveling through this wearisome land. I've got a home on that yonder city, good Lord, and it's not made by hand. I've got a mother, sister, and brother who have gone this way before. I am determined to go and see them, good Lord, for we're on that golden shore. I'm going down to the river of Jordan just to bathe my wearisome soul. If I could just touch the hem of his garment, good Lord, then I know he'll bring me home. Hang out there for a while, boys. Some glad morning when this life is over, I'll fly away to a land on God's celestial shores. I'll fly away. Oh, I'll fly away. I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. When the shackles of this life have gone, I'll fly away. Like a bird from prison walls that flow, I'll Godspeed, Dave. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, we went a little late tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's 9:22. We've got Cherokee and King Is Gone coming up with Luke Mercier as the video rewind. We're going to pass on the video this week, Dave. There's a donate video. Dave, Barry. There's a donate video, which we're going to pass on just because we're out of time here. And next week, we've got Ryan Sims coming on the show. I'm going to meet with him this week. Ryan is the skate coach that I met with earlier this summer. Helped me out with some things, and I'm going to meet with him. We're going to talk about his skate coach company, and we're going to talk about skateboarding a bit. Next week is Ryan Sims. I think we've got everything. Thanks so much, everybody. Once again, this has got me out of a bit of a funk that's been growing. So I hope that you guys have had a similar experience tonight too. It was nice to play some music.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely sort of cleared the head. Got the CRA out of it. Except I keep mentioning CRA, and I just keep reminding you.
Greatly appreciate the effort, but.
Anyways, everybody, thank you so much. And be nice, be kind, treat people out there good, and remember to be like Steve. Cheers. We'll see you later. One, two, three. From the top. Last night I broke the seal on a Jim Beam decanter that looked like Elvis. Soaked the label off a Flintstone jelly bean jar. I cleared us off a place on that one little table that you left me. Pulled me up a big old piece of floor. I pulled the head off his, Phil Fred up to his pace. Yabba dabba doo, the king is gone, and so are you. Round about 10 we all got to talking. About Big Ride, Graceland and such. The conversation finally turned to women. They said they didn't get around that much. Then Elvis said fine and young. Fred said, well, old-fashioned girls are fun. Yabba dabba doo, the king is gone, and so are you. Later on, it finally hit me. That you wouldn't be coming back no more. This time I know you wouldn't forget me. Like all of them other times before. Then I broke Elvis's nose, pulling the last stripes from his toes. Yabba dabba doo, the king is gone, and so are you. Yabba dabba doo, the king is gone, and so are you. Yabba dabba doo, the king is gone, and so are you. Nicely done, boys. Wow.
Once again, thanks for spending another Wednesday with us here at Storyhouse Studios. Thanks to Trainer, Yorkville, and a Longtooth Beverage Company for being a part of the show. We love our time on the Whiskey Wednesday show and appreciate all of your support. Don't forget to hit up the tip jar if you feel so inclined. Never expected, but always appreciated. Tune in every week for more guests, songs, stories, drinks, and gear talk. And don't forget to visit the website, www.kentizzard.com, to sign up for the Whiskey Wednesday wrap-up. Compiled by Allison, this is a monthly overview with highlights, directories of songs, and so much more. Be kind, be helpful, be happy, be safe. See you next week.
The seal on a Jim Beam cannon.